It's a great morning in the Ozarks. Another bubble of high pressure has moved in. This time of year, the fact that we can still get these little bubbles of high pressure led by cool fronts in the area is a good thing. You usually can't count on this as much as we start heading into July, so enjoy the nicer air and cooler mornings when you can get them. That's, of course, the high pressure area, and the lines on that map were the isobars that help me find that. And there are also wind direction arrows on that map and temperatures. And the wind is very calm this morning, and our temperature's down around 70 degrees. The dew points are going to be lower here today. Take a look at that analysis here, especially as this high begins to move in a little bit more. It's not going to be as nice as some of these previous air masses, but there's a little flow around this high like this that'll bring in drier air, and it basically allows our overnight lows to drop down quite a bit more. We'll take a look at the morning satellite view here and turn these off. And there are no clouds in the Ozarks here. I'll turn off the temperatures as well. Nothing going on here. I'll put that into motion. Very quiet weather pattern. And something we'll come back to in a moment, though, is some activity down here in the Gulf. These are the colder tops of thunderstorms that are forming east of the Yucatan Peninsula. Part of a circulation. Maybe you're getting a sense for that. If you can kind of see, there's a little bit of maybe a broad rotation with that possible tropical storm development. And again, I'll cover that here in just a second. Let's come back to this cool front idea, though. Here's the morning weather map showing the high pressure bubble, which actually extends all the way up into Canada. The current position of the front just passed through Little Rock here. And here's what's happened so far in June, our temperature trace. And yeah, we've had some warm runs, and many of the days have been above normal. The normal lines are traced on there, lighter colors. But I wanted to point out that we've had several fronts come through here over the course of the month, some stronger than others. This last one was pretty good, actually. So it's, again, good news to be able to get that in here. Now, as we go through the next 7 days, a pretty good stair-step increase in temperatures, which you're seeing here, with the hottest day probably on Sunday, where mid-90s seem probable, maybe even some upper 90s. Then another June cool front moves in and cools us down. Probably Tuesday morning is our coolest morning. We'll probably see 50s in the area once again. Now, here's the tropical activity as outlined by the Hurricane Center, Tropical Prediction Center. Tropical Storm Chris was a hurricane briefly up there in the North Atlantic yesterday, is no more. And then possibly Debbie developing in the Gulf. 70% given to that, really that possibility. And, it could happen. It looks like it will happen. But the big question is always, where is it headed? Let me show you this series of maps here. This is just one computer model's idea of what's going on. This is valid about now. And I'll just step through this here. There's our high to our north and east here, the center of that right there. And going through the weekend here, this one gets a little hot right in through there. That's basically Sunday evening. Then this other high pressure bubble right there begins to move in and influences our weather by late in the week. Now let me back this up again and show you what's happening in the Gulf. Kind of pan up a little bit. There we go. Now this is what's interesting. We have this development right here. Now again, this is one computer model's idea of what will happen. And it's certainly not the end-all be-all of forecast, but it does appear as if there's a consensus here this morning that this thing will veer off toward Florida. And I can show you one more thing before I sign off here, and that is the official projections of all the various computer models that run this sort of thing. And look at models. There's the lines. There we go. And again, there seems to be a leaning toward the northeast on potential tropical storm Debbie, which would bring a lot of rain to Florida and areas of the southeast. Doesn't seem like it has any chance of impacting the Ozarks. A great day in the Ozarks. Get out and enjoy it.